Hey everybody, it's Chuck, and I'm coming from my mobile creation studio. Just wanted to do a quick vlog today just to say hello to everyone and see how things are doing. I know last week I put up the review of Scalar. I forgot his name already, but the other account that shipped with Turtler, Snaptrap. So now down the final two. Something tells me that's going to be a bit of a wait because shipping from Japan and other parts of the country and what have you. Um, do have new Cyberverse figures coming towards the end of the week, so there'll be a review. Might be like a 2-for-1 review, just to get them up. And yeah, one cool thing I did get that I figure I can show you guys is I got this from Amazon of all places, surprisingly, that they had it. This is the Marvel Legends Stan Lee figure. It's been, I think, out for a little bit. Some people have it, but um, shipping it on Hasbro. Amazon shipped it on Sunday, so are honoring some of the pre-orders. This is based on his cameo from the first Avengers film. Kind of interesting history with the figure. Some of you might remember about a year ago, year and a half ago, there were leaked images of Target exclusive margined 2 packs that showed that, I don't know if it was this figure, but a stand figure was going to be a build. Unfortunately, what is like right before those images leaked is when we started getting reports that Stanley have done inappropriate things. It's funny you say it. It's going to show up backwards. I don't unless you can see it. That does say Excelsior on the side there. My sister thought that was his real. Like he actually these figures before he died. I said no, Barbie, it's been 2 years. But because of that controversy, um, they scrapped plans for the build a figure because as we all know, the 2 pack still came out. Probably won't see a review of that since Marvel Legend reviews they don't get any views on my channel, and it's like kind of pointless and are so few and far between just because it is very difficult to get a hand on. It's like I kind of got to get the Transformer for them, and then when I want to go back, I want to get a whole wave because I want to build the figure. Um, like 5 figures. 4 of them are actually very affordable on cheap, and then the one that you actually need to configure was like this popular character that goes for triple its original cost. Because, Marvel Legend collectors, they jump stuff very quickly. It's actually, I would say, difficult to be a Marvel Legends collector because you have. It used to be, you would have a normal Marvel Legends wave and it'd have a movie wave. But now that the movies, were coming 4 times a year, each movie had its own wave, sometimes two. You had the normal wave, then you retail exclusives. It was a whole, dance that made it hard to stay on top of things. I know Shartimus Prime, the review talked about it, but are nice. They are really cool. I have some of the old Toy Biz ones from the Legendary Rider series, and those look cool. But I've also seen some of the older Toy Biz ones with a 2008 style worthy cap. Worthy cap. You mentioned that. I just got that off of eBay. I have that coming. I finally pulled the trigger on that because New York. I don't have Walmart, so but yeah. So I mean, some of those earlier Toy Biz. I mean, very articulated, but in terms of looks, like a lot of them, very I mean, to be very blunt, off looking to me. And when it came down to the hand articulation, a lot of times the hands look off. So I mean, that's like the case where sometimes having more articulation isn't necessarily a good thing and may not be the best for the figure or character. But so yeah, so I do have those Transformer reviews. I actually have a Masterpiece. Let's see, oh, can I read the box here? Masterpiece Smokescreen Plus. Pile of loot at Big Bad Toy Store. I'm waiting for one more thing to come in before I go ahead and bite the bullet and ship. I mean, I have the original Starscream. That's what Starscream Smokescreen. Really great figure. I actually never got it when it was new. I never opened it. Very cool figure. I mean, I love Jetsons. I mean, I have Prowl. It really makes me go back now and get the animation accurate Blue Streak, the animation accurate Prowl. Even though I'm hesitant on Prowl because when it was taken out of the packaging 16 years later from its release. Yeah, yeah. Well, no, that's the other thing. A lot of these figures do have issues, but it's funny. I kind of want animation accurate Prowl, but at the same time, the new smoke screen comes with replaceable faces. The new Blue Streak comes with replaceable faces. Something tells me they're going to do a tweaked version of Prowl where it's going to have that new head that you can swap out the faceplates. So maybe I should hold off on getting Prowl. But I mean, going from Hound, Masterpiece, Optimus Prime, Sunstreaker, all these like overly intricate, complicated, fragile figures to something like Smokescreen using that Datsun mold, where it was an involved transformation, but satisfying and fluid. It was very, when I did it a couple times, it was intuitive, and you have a very good looking robot that looks close to the animation model. MP10 Grimlock. Oh, all right. Yeah, those. I have MP10 Grimlock. Those are pretty good. But I mean, I remember when I got Prowl and I transformed him and I just stood him there and I'm like, I even said this in my original review. It literally looked like the figure walked out of the cartoon. I mean, that was like, whoa. That was really one of the first times with a masterpiece figure. I just went, whoa, this is like an animation model. And to think I was going to pass on it because we were basically getting a Voyager sized, like deluxe ish sized figure, almost $100. And I said, the price is just not there. But then it's like, I can see the value. I mean, now the prices have gone up. I mean, that little Bumblebee, which is smaller, I think, than the original. I mean, that's over $100 and not nearly as good as the original masterpiece. But once I ship that order, you'll see the review. I'll do like a person review since I never did an original review with Smokescreen. Interesting story about where the dad came from and their history. They were the cars because remember they car robots Diaclone. And the idea behind Diaclone was real world items that were turned into uh, mechs for the Micromen. And the original three Datsuns, they were slot cars. The car you can actually I'm surprised no I've never seen them. I'm surprised nobody's ever tried to find them. To made slot cars because slot car racing is very popular in Japan. And those were the slot cars. That's what they look like. So Takara took those designs. It's basically the real world toys were turned into robots by the Micromen, and they altered the designs to make them transferable. But one of the things about it was, um, I mean, on the original toys, I don't know about the original car, but obviously the original Datsun used the same mold. They were just changed by paint. Smokescreen, being a stock car, always has um, a dead prowl. That'd be kind of a cool face to have. But stock cars obviously have different parts than a street legal car. So smokescreen was always meant to look very different. That's why if you look, even the original Masterpiece version, they did a lot of retooling and new molding on this Masterpiece smokescreen that to make it look like a proper stock car instead of just repainting Prowl and Blue Streak in those colors. And what's interesting is there's even, from going to the Plus line, there's even more retooling. You have a new head, and the shoulder cannons are now smaller and hatched. They're not a separate piece like they were on the other Datsuns because it was such a part of Smokescreen's animation appearance. But yeah, it's about that. I got to admit, I have been trying to get some of the GI Joe classified figures. I think that would be a nice return to form for some people. Back in the day, I did Transformers and GI Joe reviews side by side, and unfortunately, the GI Joe ones fell off when they stopped having a retail presence, and everything went to like exclusive this, exclusive that. Unfortunately, the resellers on eBay, they're not looking to do business in a fair manner, I think. Basically what happens is when people get a bunch of people to spend over $100 for a figure, everybody thinks they can get $100 for the figure. And I'm trying to deals, I'm trying to work things out. People are interested. I I hate to say it's dishonest. I mean, I really don't want to dishonest, but in a couple of months, people are going to be stuck with a bunch of figures that have to take a loss on if they want to sell them. I mean, because then Amazon will have it. It's funny. I have all the figures pre-ordered on Amazon except for that retail release Snake Eyes. I don't. Oh, eat before I. Hey, buddy. Funny for you to sneak in here. Um, I mean, it's funny that I can't find that Snake Eyes for pre-order, but then again, with everything going on, Amazon has, it's where they say they have like a different protocol, but it's like some stuff is leaking out, some stuff isn't. The way they're shipping things, they're saying, well, it's essentials are a priority. You can still get some normal, non-essential stuff, 2 day shipping. So it's not lockstep. Well, it's not a mystery if we know he's there. I mean, the figure was revealed. People have it in hand, and people are selling it because they already have the case. But I mean, if they're gonna put pre-orders up for the wave, they should do the whole wave. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I hope Hasbro Pulse puts up more of like that deluxe version of Snake Eyes because I wasn't able to pre-order it. I hate to say this about Hasbro Pulse, but it's really a pain to pre-order from because they put a hold on your card in a few days, and if you don't have the money or you need that money for something else, you can't do anything because they have that hold on the card. And it's like that's really this isn't the type of clientele you want to do stuff like that with. But I mean, they look good. I mean, really, out of all of them, besides Snake Eyes, Destro looks bomb. Destro looks awesome. Destro, I mean, yeah, exactly. But let me tell you, I really think, and we'll because they're still going to do them. The San Diego Comic Con exclusive for this year probably was going to be Imp Daddy Destro again, which means we would have got silver and a gold headed version. Because I mean that figure looks bomb. It's funny for I thought Destro was a brother. I thought he was like an African prince or something. I never realized that until I went back and watched the cartoon and reading the supplemental material. He's Scottish. It was a Scottish accent I was hearing, which is also even more interesting when you factor in that Arthur Burkhart, who was his actor, is an African American male. Also, the voice actor for Devastator from Transformers. Full circle. Um, oh, and yeah, and if you guys ever watched the old law show Matlock with Andy Griffith, his investigator, the African American guy who would, interview people and stuff like that, that was the voice of Roadblock on GI Joe. Always like who that guy was, what happened, again, like growing older and going back and finding out how interconnected my childhood viewing habits were, and getting all that together and just completed circles. Heart to Heart. I watched it a little as a kid. I'm watching it a little bit more now on these retro TV channels with my sister. The Heart's butler manservant. That's Lionel Sander, Cup from Transformers. Oh yeah, no, no, that well, yeah, that every show pretty much almost had all the same voice actors. Especially the Sunbow shows. I mean, some people might have been able, basically everybody on the Sunbows, they all appeared. It's just that uh, sometimes they weren't as featured. They were part of the chorus, part of the background. Obviously, with Gem, you had like a whole female led cast, but some of the guys from G.I. Joe and Transformers would show up for background roles. Voltron, it was, pretty much Peter Cullen, Greg Berger, uh, Mike Duke. Oh, God, his name just went out of my head. Um, the guy who's voice actor Duke, and they did all the voices, male and female. And then Colin and Frank Welker were on the Real Ghostbusters show playing the dad. Who, I never realized that cartoon was a direct sequel, a continuation of the original live action Ghostbuster show from the 70s. Yeah, he's also the voice of the caretaker for the Castle of Lions on Voltron. And he did their voices too. Like there was like incidental voices. They did them to keep the boat down. Michael Bell. Michael Bell was the voice of Dude. Thank you. And it's not like I didn't interview the guy. Like I sure and had a great time with talking with him. But so yeah. So I mean I hope everybody's staying safe. I'm in downstate New York. I'm in Queens. Upstate is doing a lot better, and upstate may be opened sooner than state because there's requirements and stuff. And yeah, I mean it's getting. Fun fact: Peter Cullen voiced Optimus. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, he was Optimus Prime in all the G1 commercials for as far as I remember. But it's going back to what I say. I mean, it's gonna take a while, but I mean, as started to say to people, this is going to be very interesting to see where we are, down the line. I think there's going to be a lot of lawsuit. There's going to be in the Bronx. It's getting, yeah, it's a little better. It's a little better, but I mean, there's going to be some lawsuits, but I really think there's going to be some hard looks at the constitutionality of what happened and what exactly state, local, and federal governments are allowed to do because this was an unprecedented situation. And I hate to say we were in a position where, you had to ask forgiveness than ask permission. So I think there's going to be a very long period of asking for forgiveness. Um, you know, but I gotta be honest. I don't this lasting like people being patient that much longer. Ugh, you know. Well, yeah, no, some states are. I mean, unfortunately, what it is we live in a country where so goes New York, so goes the rest of the country. Other countries that the coronavirus really didn't affect anyone, and they're under the same strict restrictions that New York is, and that's because media is very New York centered. It's been like that for a while. It was like that before 9/11, before the original trainer attacks. But that does remind me is yeah, they get out. Yeah, that's the thing. It's nice days. You want to, and you really need to get out. You need to get some sun on you. You need to get that vitamin D. You need to breathe some fresh air, walk around. Um, I'm in Atlanta. We are open. We are open, but most are at least around me. A lot will change this. We gotta get back to work. Yeah. Good luck on you, buddy. Great base, by the way. Stay safe. Yeah, no, it's great to be caught live. Um, as I was going to say, it is kind of funny. Today is Cinco de Mayo, which is Taco Tuesday. Basically, would be epic celebrations put on hold by a virus named Corona. I'm sure you've seen that going around. Well, I mean, I have actually been here for like it's almost over 20 minutes. I just wanted to give you guys a little something today because I'm probably not gonna. There isn't gonna be a review going up today. I'm doing okay, Ethan. Thank you, thank you. I'm doing all right. I mean, I hope you're all doing well. Like I said, I know this is like really rough, and creators like myself, we're trying to keep stuff going so you guys have stuff to watch and going. And unfortunately, in the full house, that is sometimes a little tough for me to do. My sister is downstairs teaching now virtually. Mom is watching television, so hopefully maybe I can get a review. Now the next review you're probably going to see are those new Cyberverse figures that I got, the larger scale armored Optimus Prime and Shockwave. But that's about it. I mentioned in a previous video orders have been pushed back. Hasbro has said is still being made. Their plants in Vietnam were not affected, but if stores aren't stocking it and they're not shipping out, that was silly. Uh, uh, yeah, it is. Nobody can get stuff because stores aren't stocking it. But yeah, so in a nutshell, uh, thank you, Quantum. Thank you. Rabbit. um, but it is what it is. I think it's going to be in terms of that regard. Stores selling regular products is a while, and you really can't complain because there is a need for it. Well, okay, New York City is a whole separate. Jay, it is. We don't have Walmart. Um, a lot of areas are what you would call economically depressed, so stores aren't going to stock a lot of stuff. That's why I mostly order online. I had a Toys R Us in Austin. I have a Target in White that I can easily go to, but I just order off of Amazon, eBay, or whatever because at least I know I'll have my time's not wasted. But yeah, now it's been on 25 minutes. I got to wrap this. So for everyone who stopped by and came in, I do appreciate it. Stay well, stay safe, stay sane. Yeah, yeah, online. But even but if the stores online aren't shipping stuff out, what are you gonna do? But stay safe, stay sane, be well, and I'll catch you next time.